aka Eileen, the Little Crafter. Additional information about arts, crafts, and everything in between this podcast show and the Little Crafter Show, which is on YouTube, can be found on my website, eileenthelittlecrafter.com. Alrighty, guys, I would like to first start off with a huge thank you to those of you listening on the podcast. So we have United States, we have Germany, we have Finland, United Kingdoms, Canada, and Sweden, and the Netherlands. Oh my goodness, I cannot pronounce the little town. Well, the city that is not a town, city that is in the Netherlands. So my apologies. I don't want to butcher it or offend anybody. One of these days, maybe I need to learn another language. I know I gotta. I'm trying to learn Japanese, and everyone's like, no, you need to learn Spanish, but that's a whole different ballgame. All right, so we have Ashford, Virginia. We have Oceanside, California. We have Venice, Florida. We have Middlesbrough. I think that's Kentucky. Okay, Montreal, Canada. Los Angeles, California. Fort Worth, Texas. Alexandria, VA, and the town in the Netherlands. And then we have Portland. I think that's Maine or Maryland, United States. I always forget what ME is. So if you guys know what the ME stands for, I'm horrible with the abbreviations in states. Oh, so embarrassing. But hey, I just want to say thank you so much for that. And everybody who is, where else are we listening at? Okay, so let's see. I know we've gotten some likes on SoundCloud, so thank you for that, guys. Appreciate that tremendously. And let's see, where are all the plays coming from? Alrighty. Sources, that's what I was looking at. I'm looking at the computer really quick. Okay, we got, a huge amount from YouTube. So thank you, my YouTube community, iHeartRadio. Oh, yes. We are officially, now we can see it. We are officially on Spotify. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yeah! Alrighty. So, alright, and another source, which probably is maybe from my website or my other social media accounts. So thank you so much for that, guys. You are awesome! Alright, so I said that I would do the big kind of spiel once I found out that I was on Spotify, because they never really... They said that, it would take about 2 to 3 weeks, and yeah, it's been that, right? Should have been having the countdown. So, alright, so let me just kind of give you guys a heads up who I am, what I am, and all that good stuff. Alright, hello guys, my name is Eileen, aka Eileen Little Crafter. I'm living in Brooklyn, New York. I'm a stay-at-home married mom to an awesome little boy who just happens to be autistic, with our crazy 2 cats. Me and my husband have been together forever. No, seriously, we've been together for 18 years and married, I think, 16 or 17 years. Big, huge brain fart there. And I like to say a lot, apparently. I am a crafter. I've been crafting before I even started YouTube, I've been crafting for about, I want to say for about 12, 14 years now. I started YouTube. I've been on YouTube for about, I think is it 7 or 10 years now. I'm not a huge, big YouTuber. I've never been really consistent with my videos. And and as a crafter, I love to do all types of different paper crafting, such as what is that? Scrapbooking. That's how I first started scrapbooking. I was introduced through family members. So huge shout out to my mom Lydia and my sister Natalie, who introduced me to the love of scrapbooking. Little did they know it would turn into this big, huge thing that they just look at me like, wow. I started paper crafting. I started making cards. I started While I was pregnant, I saw the infomercial to the Cricut and caught the Cricut bug, and now I'm here looking at my maker, which is the latest from, I think they're called still ProCraft, but not 100% sure of that. This is their latest machine, so I want to thank my husband for that. He also got me the Easy Press, and so the maker basically is from Cricut. It cuts different types of materials and different shapes. The materials that it cuts out is paper, of course, fabric, different types of fabric such as leather, cloth, cotton types of fabric. You can find out all that chipboard, wood now. They finally came out with the deep cut blade. They now came out with two different types of scoring blades. I was going to say stylus, but they're not stylus. They're rotary blades. They don't cut, they just score and make awesome deep score lines. So when you're doing the 3D projects, so there's a lot going on with Cricut. I can go on and on and on, and I have a bunch of stuff that I will be doing about Cricut because they've come out with some new awesome stuff. What else can I say about myself? I love mixed media work. I caught the bug. You know, everybody was kind of doing it, and I was watching a bunch of different videos, and I caught that bug, and I was like, ooh, that looks really cool. On and off Project Life, I also do memory keeping with my Happy Planner memory keeper. I love planning. I love working on my planner. I love creating stickers, making t-shirts. So I do a lot of different types of DIY projects, whether it's home decor or just, you know, things in general. I love working on different types of mediums and working with different types of mediums. Arts Class and Everything in Between is my podcast show. The Little Crafted Show is the show on YouTube, FYI. Sorry about that. And I started that for a while. I think it's been a couple of years now that I recently finally got a good graphic designer that I work with, and we finally got an official logo. Yay! I also recently started doing some unboxing, so you may see a little bit of that. I kind of felt like I went through a little bit of a YouTube funk. I still love crafting, but I wanted to share my love of the clothes that I was receiving from the boxes that the subscription boxes that I have been subscribing to. That's the word, subscribing to, and I wanted to share that as well and promote body positivity and anything else that I kind of thought that would be interesting for YouTube and that I was passionate about. And I also share that love here on Arts Class and Everything in Between. Arts Class and Everything in Between was kind of, it was inspired by my husband and also Julie Faye Fambalzer, who has her podcast show, but I'm not too sure if it's still available. I got to catch up on episodes. And she was doing Adventures in Arting, and I don't remember how I started following her. I know what it was. It was when I was watching some stencil demos, and I found out that she was working with, what is the name of the company? Oh, I think it was called Crafters Workshop, something like that. I forgot. She was working with stencils, and it happens to be one of the stencils that I really love, and I was looking at her work, and I found out more about her, and she was a New York-based artist, now living in, I believe, Boston, which is another great town. I love visiting Boston. And so I started getting involved with her and her classes and stuff like that. And she talked about her podcast with her mom. So, it was a really interesting thing. And then my husband, basically, he was listening to podcasts. And he was talking to me about the different stuff that they were talking about. Or, oh yeah, like this person was being interviewed because he knew that I like certain people. And he's like, oh yeah, you got to check out this interview. This person was like on the show. And I know you like, his or her show. So it's like, oh yeah, interesting. So I basically started listening to different podcasts, and I was like, I have a lot of other things that I don't share on YouTube that I like, and also to promote the love of arts and crafts. So I figured that this would be a really good way to blend the love of the two. Like I do stuff about since I don't do vlogs, I kind of give you guys my life updates. I'm sharing the interesting trials and tribulations of being a mom with an autistic child. Weight stuff, every woman goes to that. Anything that, it's not too terribly, cringeworthy that I'm sharing. Anime, movies. Yeah, so if you look through arts, crafts, and everything in between, if you see the list, you'll see a bunch of different podcasts. And so yeah, so I would love to thank my husband for that, and he's been on the show a couple of times. I love having him on, and I was trying to make him the co-host, but he was like, "Nah, it's your thing. I'm good." So I was like, "All right, fine, not a problem." So what else can I say about myself and about the show? I try to get it out on every Thursdays. If not, I try it Friday or Monday, depending on the situation. Sometimes they may not be a podcast, but if you look through my social media, if I have the time or remember to say, hey, there's not going to be a podcast today, then I normally put it up on Instagram. I have a list. I also have a website, which is EileenLittleCrafter.com. It also has a list of everything. It has also a blog. So if you miss anything, it's always on there. I try to put everything, whether or not if it's a Little Crafter show or arts, crafts, and everything in between, in the title of my of the blog post. So you know exactly what you're getting into before you can say, oh no, that's not my thing. On YouTube, I normally host my show. Both shows are on the same channel, so I was thinking about getting another channel, but I was like, nah, let's just put everything in one spot so everybody knows exactly where everything is. So, once again, but again, like I said, I put both shows on the blog, I put both shows on the website, everything is there, so you're good to go. What else? I'm not very good at keeping up with the blog, so there may be a little time where I'm like, okay, the blog needs to be updated, which is the case right about now. And right now, I am also going to be talking about a little bit of a break that I'm going to do. I started out making about 3 to 4 videos, and I cut down to 3, and now I'm cutting down to 2. And this week, I think that until the 24th, I think that I'm going to be cutting down to 1 video and 1 podcast for right now, because we are in the middle of our actual summer vacation. We get 3 weeks off, and so I figured, let me cut down a little bit. So, yeah, and just relax. And so he's on vacation. He is home, and so I figured let me cut down to 1 video and 1 podcast. And then I was like, okay, like getting used to waking up in the morning and during the winter, not the fall and stuff like that, and dealing with all that issue is a little stressful, as any parent can say, going back to school is, and making sure that we get this, get that. So I figured let me ease back into things. I will do 1 video, 1 podcast until I get my rhythm back, and then I will start working back on, believe it or not, because I've been missing this terribly, Mixed Media Mondays will be starting up in fall. So I am super excited about that. I have a couple of ideas already. I want to do more kind of pictures and mixed media I want to make some mixed media frames for some pictures that we took in the summertime. So I super excited about that, because I already have some for canvases already. So yay! So can't wait to start on that. What else? Blog needs to be updated. Sorry about that. And yeah, that's about it, guys. All right, so you're like, okay, Eileen, you've been rambling for a while now. What exactly is this podcast all about? Alrighty, so this is what I've been watching for my summer months. I know that TV is good watching or good viewing is sparse, and especially this time of year because everybody's barbecuing, going out. We don't really go out much. Hubby's still working during the week, and unfortunately, due to sensory issues, hearing sensory, especially, travel is somewhat limited. Anyway, so what have we been watching? Well, for me personally, I've been watching a couple of good shows on my own. Revenants, I hope I'm pronouncing Revenants is one of them. Basically, it's kind of a machine that helps you live out your dreams and fantasies. You basically give them photos of a place that you want to visit or a person you want to see again, and they scan it into the computer. They help make models and stuff like that, and sometimes you get lost and you don't want to come out. So there was a young lady who basically goes in with a pass of her own, and the machine is picking up on that and is, I guess, supposed to be trying to help her cope with it. And there's a lot of other stuff going on around this this plot as well. So it's not just about her jumping into these revenants, and it's a kind of cloak and dagger meets a little bit of mystery, a little bit of deception. So it's a really good show, and that's on NBC. I don't remember the dates, so again, I will have everything once the blog is up, and always I will let you guys know when the blog is fully updated. I've been watching it on Hulu, and it's hilariously funny because I was actually thinking about canceling Hulu, and I'm so glad that I didn't, and I'll let you guys know in a second. You know me, I'm a huge fan of Dead Files. I love it extremely so much. I tape them because some nights I'm just tired and I want to go to sleep because it does give at 10. Yeah, I go to sleep early. Or we're just, busy hanging out or watching another movie, which, no offense to Amy and Steve. I figured, if I have a DVR, might as well use it, right? So I record all of the episodes, especially the ones at 1 in the morning, because sometimes I don't always get a chance to see certain episodes. And so I've been recording them, and I'll sit there and watch the whole thing. If I watched it before, of course, I'll erase it. But if I haven't watched it, you know me, I'm watching. So the Dead Files I'm a huge fan of their show. And I love it. I look for it. It's on Fridays at 10. Okay, and that's on the Travel Channel. And unfortunately, they don't give a lot of repeats. So that's some of the reasons why when I get a chance to record all of them, I'm like, yes, I haven't seen this one. Yes, Even their revisited ones, or I think that's revisited episodes, kind of are interesting because they give little tidbits. So it's really cool. Kindred Spirits is actually after that. It's at 11 o'clock, and I also try to remember to record those, even though they're not all new episodes. I'm hoping that the Travel Channel will pick them up, and provide new episodes. They are Amy and Adam. Oh God, I forget their last names. I apologize. I don't know them personally, so I kind of feel weird not being able to say their last name. So anyway, so what happens is it's just that Amy and Adam from not Ghost Adventures. Oh God, from the Sci-Fi Ghost Hunters, I think Ghost Hunters. I believe that's what the name was. They have formed their own team and now have their own show, which is basically called Kindred Spirits. And I love the fact that they go into homes with families and they basically help the family, find a resolution and, bring in other people that can help them that, and continue to, monitor the situation if the person needs help. So, to let them know whether or not if the spirit is bad or good. So I think that that's a really good thing that they're doing. I love this show as well. They've been bouncing around quite a bit, unfortunately. So Travel Channel, please, please, please bring back new episodes. They are amazing. I love them. And they've been doing a lot of stuff. If you follow their social media accounts, you can see all the stuff and all the tours that they do. I hope to one year be able to go and see what they are up to myself. So what else have we been watching? Of course, you know me. I've talked about this a couple of times and I've gotten some slack with a thumbs down, which is okay. It is what it is. People are not going to like what you have to say sometimes. But I love My Street Outlaws, the original. And it's hilariously funny because I was watching last week's episode and I'm going, oh, Chief, what are you doing? And I got a tweet saying, oh, Eileen, like, not me personally, but I kind of like JJ the Boss. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, he has his moments and stuff like that. And I just, it was a very cool and interesting tweet there. So, I mean, you could agree to disagree very nicely. So that was really nice. So thank you for that. For that awesome tweet. What else? What else have we been watching? Well, me, actually. Because you know me, I love my animated or anime shows. Animated, Voltron. I didn't think they were going to come up with another season this time around. But apparently, season 7 came around. I was just looking and I saw the notification that, the new shows and a new season came up. And I was like, oh, what? Get out. So, yeah, you know me. Your girl binge watched the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Yes. Now, you guys are going, oh, no, it's not as good as the original. I get what you're saying. I see the extreme differences. But I love this version of Voltron. I love it better than the one that Nick, I think it was Nickelodeon or was it Cartoon? I don't know. One of them, Cartoon Networks or Nickelodeon, actually put out another version of Voltron, which basically was after, Lothar was defeated. I didn't like the drawing as much as I do this version of Netflix, or the original. Like, to me, it was just like and they weren't consistent with their episodes as well. So I was like, Anyways, moving right along. So basically, they're kind of starting over from scratch, and they do a different spin on how they meet Allura and her. Oh God, Karan. How they meet Karan. And so there's a bunch of different surprises going on. So it's a little different. And I don't want to give too much away. I just love the little differences that they have. At first, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't like the way they drew the princess. Like, I was like, oh man, they really messed her up. Like, I don't know. I like the original version. I thought that she was extremely pretty. But then as time went on, I really grew to like her character. It's still a little off. Like, I still feel weird. Like, I'm like, I don't know. Like I feel like something's missing. And I don't know how to explain it. But I really enjoy this. And the end of season 7 really sees a lot of change, a lot of growth. They are back in Earth, and Earth is kind of leading towards, dare I say, I think what they were called was the Voltron Force, where, and correct me if I'm wrong, where the cars were the Earth, defenders of Voltron, their version of Voltron. So I feel like they already are setting up for their team. They seem like they have their characters going for that team something happened that makes you believe, okay, this, maybe the team that's going to do it, and leading up to a baddie that has a secret origins, and you learn that at the end of season 7, and I'm just sitting there, oh, that's what happened, because you're introduced to, at one point, what is that? Allura has a cousin, and Finn goes and lives there and has married the princess's cousin. So basically, she's part of royalty. But then you get somebody else who comes in this new Voltron, and I don't know if she's related, but I know she's Altean. That's one thing they made clear. And Coran and Allura thought that they were the only Alteans left, but it turns out that no, that wasn't the case. And they found this population, and the next thing they know, poof, something happens. And season 7 at the end kind of answers that and brings more questions. So just gonna give you a little bit of a sneak spoiler. Sorry about that, but yes, really, really, really love it. I love how they kept the integrity of Voltron. It still pretty much looks pretty much almost the same, I think. There's a few little nuances that are different, but, and the way it transforms is slightly different, not that much. But I think that Netflix kept the interesting and cool integrity there. Alright, so moving on, what else are we watching? So we got Reverence, we have Dead Files, of course, we have Kindred Spirits, we have the Voltron. Oh yes, the reason why. Castle Rock on Hulu. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Okay guys, I have to say that I was seriously going to cancel Netflix. I mean, not Netflix. I wanted to cancel Hulu. I didn't see anything, they weren't giving any different types of anime. They weren't, I don't know, like, I watched The Handmaid's Tale. I watched the original movie. I was okay with it. I was like, that's not my thing. But everybody swears by it. They love it. They enjoy it. And I just kind of felt like they weren't giving anything fresh or new, and I was like, I'm thinking about it. And then I went back and I started looking through it. Of course, I found the Devil's Line, which was an awesome anime. If you guys haven't heard about my summer anime, please go check that podcast out. And then I learned about Castle Rock, and I was like, interesting. Now, I love Stephen King, the movies. I've never really sat down and read any of the novels. I've heard they're really interesting and great reads, and maybe one day I gotta sit down and read maybe a couple. This show basically is based off of a lot of his different novels. There's a little bit of nods. What is that? Where else? Nods / characters, possibly maybe from the book or from the movies. You definitely have to watch it. It's on Wednesdays. I just love the fact that it does every Wednesday there's a new episode, so it's really interesting and cool. I hope that they continue to do this. They are really good. I love the fact that they are, starting their own little shows. And I hope they continue. This one is really good, and I'm really enjoying it. And I can't wait for next week. This one really had me on the edge of my seat. Castle Rock basically seems like it's just a town that Stephen King made up, and it seems like he has like his own little universe where everything takes place in that. And there are some YouTube channels that are really, really good in helping you if you guys are interested in that kind of like nerdy vibe of knowing little, well, what does this mean? Or what does, is that what I think it means? They have some good videos that help you. Oh yeah, that, you're right, this was this, and they answer the questions. Yeah, no, it was really good. So they do have a more in-depth look into these episodes. So I've been watching it and I've been learning a lot and having fun and putting my own little theories in my head, like as I'm watching. Oh, does that mean this? It's been really cool and fun. So yeah, so Castle Rock is really definitely one of my gems that I I'm so like, woohoo, thank you, Hulu. So yeah, so cannot wait for next week. And I cannot wait for. I think that there's a couple of more things that I haven't started watching yet, so I definitely will maybe put in there's a couple of movies that I've watched that I'm gonna definitely put a list together, and so it's gonna be a list of some anime, it's gonna be a list of some movies, and another bunch of series that I haven't started diving into as of yet, so I'm gonna start doing that. And yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys posted. And again, I try to keep the podcast up on Thursdays, around 12, 3 o'clock the latest, or on a Thursday, or like I said, I will be, social media. I will let you guys know, no podcast today. I definitely have to be a little bit more better with that. So I'm definitely going to end this here. I know this is a really, 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 really long podcast, so I apologize about that, but I just wanted to let everybody on Spotify know who I am, and what I do, what I'm so passionate about, and what is arts, class, and everything in between all about. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below, or you can always email me your comments and questions. My email address is Eileen@EileenTheLittleCaraffa.com. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.